I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump just attacked and spread lies about Federal Judge Tanya Chutkan just 2 days after she warned Donald Trump's lawyers about his behavior on the internet. Donald Trump's most recent post appears to be a clear violation of the court's warning, of the court's admonition to Trump's lawyers. It's still to be determined how Judge Tanya Chutkan will respond to this, or when special counsel, I don't think if, when special counsel Jack Smith will bring this to the attention of Judge Chutkan. But the statements that Donald Trump just posted are 100% false. It is 100% an attack on Judge Chutkan, and it is 100% violative of what she stated and what she warned Donald Trump's lawyers about in court on Friday. Here is the post that Donald Trump made. He was reposting a right-wing extremist Mike Davis, and Donald Trump writes, Judge Tanya Chutkan, an Obama left-wing activist judge in D.C., whose husband also got appointed by Obama as a D.C. judge, openly admitted she's running election interference against Trump. Let me repeat these false and defamatory statements one more time, because it is such a vicious lie that Donald Trump and Mike Davis are spreading, stating that Chutkan is openly admitting she's running election interference against Donald Trump. She said nothing of that sort. In fact, what she warned against were these exact types of attacks, these exact types of misinformation, these exact types of efforts to interfere with the judicial process before her court. Recall on Friday there was a hearing over the Department of Justice through special counsel Jack Smith's request for a protective order in the matter. Donald Trump's lawyers objected to the protective order and prepared and presented their own version of a protective order, and Judge Chutkan set a hearing for Friday, August 11th. Donald Trump's lawyers wanted a protective order that would allow them to basically not have various categories that the government wanted to classify as sensitive information be presumptively classified as such. Judge Chutkan ultimately decided and ruled that basically all of the government's designations of grand jury secrecy type material, that would all remain sensitive information, although the judge said that information that is public or obtained by Donald Trump prior to this action through public means outside of discovery, that would not be subject to the protective order. That would not be designated sensitive material. But at this hearing, let me just repeat what Judge Chutkan stated. Judge Chutkan admonished Donald Trump's lawyer, John Lauro, and stated that he was conflating what your client, Donald Trump, needs to do to defend himself and what your client wants to do politically. Your client's defense, Mr. Lauro, is supposed to happen in this courtroom, not on the internet. Chutkan continued. What the defendant is currently doing, the fact that he is running a political campaign, has to yield to the orderly administration of justice. If that means he can't say exactly what he wants to say about witnesses in this case, that's how it has to be. Mr. Trump, like every American, has a First Amendment right to free speech. But that right is not absolute, Mr. Lauro. Defendant Donald Trump's free speech is subject to the release conditions imposed at arraignment, and it must yield to the orderly administration of justice. And Judge Chutkan concluded the hearing by saying, quote, I intend to ensure the orderly administration of justice in this case as I would with any other case. Even arguably ambiguous statements from parties or their counsel that can threaten the process, I will take note of and I will take action. In addition, the more a party makes inflammatory statements about this case, which could taint the jury pool, the greater the urgency will be that we proceed to trial quickly. I will take whatever measures are necessary to safeguard the integrity of this process. And to be clear, she was saying it's not only direct attacks or direct threats at this court or against the prosecutors or against the witnesses that the court will take issue of and respond to accordingly, and which would be violations of the terms of Mr. Trump, not President, criminal defendant Donald Trump's release, but even, quote, ambiguous statements about this case, which could taint the jury pool. The court will take notice of and take swift action.
This blew my mind when I found out, but did you know that over 80% of people have subscriptions that they've forgotten about? No, seriously, think about how many free trials you've subscribed to that you've probably never canceled. That's why I'm such a big fan of Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Most people think that they're spending $80 on their subscriptions, when in reality, the number's closer to $200. When you're signed up for so many things like streaming services you use to watch one show or free trials for a delivery that you don't use, it's so easy to lose track of what you're paying for. With Rocket Money, you can easily cancel the ones you don't want with just the press of a button. No more long hold times or annoying emails with customer service. Rocket Money does all the work for you. Rocket Money can even negotiate to lower your bills for you by up to 20%. All you have to do is take a picture of your bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Rocket Money also lets you monitor all your expenses in one place, recommends custom budgets based on your past spending, and they'll even send you notifications when you've reached your spending limits. With over 3 million users and counting, Rocket Money customers have saved an average of $720 a year. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/MeidasTouch. That's rocketmoney.com/MeidasTouch.
The attack by Donald Trump here on Judge Chutkan, not ambiguous at all. It is a complete and utter lie, and I think Judge Chutkan is going to impose serious ramifications against Donald Trump for his statement. She is a law and order, no-nonsense judge, and posting that photo of her, challenging her in that way, challenging her authority, is utterly despicable and completely in violation of what she stated. I think she's going to call in Trump's lawyers, whether that takes place on August 28th, which is the trial-setting conference, or whether it is before then. I think there will be serious ramifications. Here's what I can assure you of. At the August 28th hearing, which is a trial-setting conference, where Special Counsel Jack Smith has requested a January 2nd, 2024 trial date, I think she is going to be more inclined to grant that January 2nd, 2024 trial date, or shortly thereafter, because Jack Smith's going to bring that to her attention, and she's going to say, Mr. Lauro, Trump's lawyers, I gave you the admonition, I gave you the warning that if his behavior continued that way, that I would be setting an earlier trial date to protect this judicial process. You're aware of that, correct? Donald Trump's lawyers will say, correct. Do you believe it is appropriate? Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Lauro. Do you believe that that's accurate? Do you think that's what I said at this past hearing? Do you believe that to be true? I think Mr. Lauro, Donald Trump's lawyer, is going to have to respond to that or something to that effect. And then I think she's going to say, well, these false and defamatory statements about the court have consequences. And I warned you of those consequences at the last hearing. I'm going to set an earlier trial date. I think this case will go to trial early. I think that what Special Counsel Jack Smith is going to do, he's going to prepare a list of all of the threats that Trump has made since the filing of the indictment in Washington, D.C. for Trump's crimes relating to the 2020 election and the January 6th insurrection. I think Jack Smith's going to say, here they are. There's 100 or so posts threatening witnesses. Here are the threats against Pence. Here are the threats against other witnesses. Hundreds of threats against Special Counsel Jack Smith. Here he is calling Jack Smith deranged. Here he is saying this about the DOJ. Here are the attacks and lies about the judge. After Your Honor's admonition and warning to Trump's lawyers, here is what Donald Trump continued to say. Here are the threats made after. To preserve the integrity of this judicial process, we need an earlier trial date. And Donald Trump has created this situation on his own. And by the way, now the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals and others, it will not be, Trump's not going to have any strong grounds to try to appeal an earlier trial date. He was given the warning. He violated the warning. His conduct is absolutely unacceptable, disgusting behavior by anybody at all. And it's horrific. This is not law and order. This is disgusting criminality, mafia-style behavior. Yet that's the modern-day MAGA Republican Party today. Shameful. Shameful. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at MeidasTouch.com, the new home of everything MeidasTouch. Wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Have an excellent day.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.